come on, guys.
I said it too.
Fast count. Jesus. Difficult to get that
He
one in.
counted quicker than normal.
I know.
He did.
It's on to us.
Rude.
I try my best. I haven't made any of you cry yet, though, so you know you're one. I'm one down on work today. So, welcome back, everybody. We are here. We're going to do some more recording. We've got best opportunity, I hope, of being able to get 2 sessions in because I'm not exhausted and everybody else seems to be on the ball at least vaguely this already. Vaguely. So. We're going to
certain
get
values thereof.
For certain values thereof. So we're going to get a little bit of recording done. Now, just as a couple of things from this, if you do hear some feedback or anything else like that, I'm getting a little bit at the moment, but we have tech issues again, and it just happens, and we accept this, and we're gonna merrily move on with our lives and do stuff. It never ever 100% works, and there's nothing we can really do about that. But what we have got is a situation where these guys have decided to go back to a bar. Never ever knowingly let your players into a pub. Because what they end up finding is a pair of ghosts in there that are shouting at each other and having arguments. Or at least in this occasion, that's what happened. We do have plenty more space for these guys to move around, but I'm hoping they're slowly but surely starting to realise they're running out of options, and they're going to have to figure out something soon. So we're going to go pretty much quickly into the map itself on this one. What we've got is try and flip you guys over to the map. There we go. What we've got is the players here.
Fresh cookies.
Yeah. They're sat in this upper floor of this inn. The reason why I'm going to say it's an upper floor is because they don't know of anything above that related to this. And there's certainly no bar in here as things stand. There is just a number of tables and some decorations. There is a door to the north that they haven't been through.
A couple of pizza ovens?
And a couple of somethings. They certainly seem a little bit strange. And there's no real description of what these are. They just seem to be sort of decorations or furniture, perhaps.
Well, given the one's got a wooden peel next to it, it looks like let's just say they're pizza ovens.
Yeah, upstairs, heating for the food or whatever. Well, it might be, dumb waiters as well or something similar. So there's some sort of mechanism here. In addition to that, they found that there is a wall on the south side that they can mess around with some runes that are on the side of the wall, and that creates transparency on the wall, and they can start seeing through it. What they saw on the other side of it was a very large arena to start with, and a rather large creature wandering around down in the bottom. At which point they also discovered that if they pulled that set of glyphs down and reduced them even further, they could step through if they really wanted to. To which the immediate response was nope, and they put the wall back up. So there's been no tomfoolery of that nature, but a couple of things for you to be aware of. At the moment, the only ways out of this chamber that you know of are down the long corridor where the basilisks are, or into the arena. And that is more or less the only progression points you know of. There is a teleporter that you haven't bothered stepping into.
Because that won't just teleport you straight into the middle of the arena, will it?
Yeah, I don't feel confident with that. I mean, don't get me wrong. The right hand side of the map is vaguely orientated around like prepping gladiators for things, but I don't have confidence in that teleporter not being rigged.
I mean,
There is
do you want me to run back over there and throw a weasel through it?
as hilarious as that could be. I don't know how I'd feel about that. I don't know if I'd be totally confident in what it did.
You're weaselly scared, aren't you?
I mean, once you've ferreted out enough information about someone, it's easy enough to find these things out. Yep.
Yeah, you guys keep going. Don't worry.
Rocks are gonna fall. Everybody's gonna die.
And we're just sat here being mentally unstable.
So we had also talked about maybe taking a trip back up and clearing out some of the rooms and stuff we'd missed on the way down. But I think we decided we weren't going to do that in the end.
There's also like one of the just outside of here. There's just to the north. There's that higher level walkway space. There might still be like areas to explore up there.
Well, let's have a crack at this door in the corner here first.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
We'll do
going over
the
to that door.
screen was paused.
Oops,
having a good
It's
little
paused.
listen
It's
and
paused.
all the rest of it.
Listen and smell. And can you unpause it, please?
Ooh, have I left it paused? There you go. So you go over to the door and you have a bit of a listen at it. Doesn't sound like there's anything on the other side. You can almost hear dripping like water, maybe, but it's very irregular. It's not like it's a flow of water. It's just every now and again, and it doesn't sound like it's hitting. Doesn't sound like water hitting water. It sounds like water hitting stone. Damp stone.
They wouldn't sort that out in a dub.
Stone.
Okay.
Yep.
We'll give it a poke.
Let's check it.
Okay. You open up this door. Doesn't take much. It just pulls open. But what you immediately notice is that these sets of steps that go downwards, they collapse at some point. They're no good. You can see the water now. There's moss and various other things. It's dripping down from the ceiling. You probably guess maybe there might be, depending on how deep you are into the earth, there might be some natural fissure just above these steps, which would have been maintained and looked after, so it wouldn't cause any problems. But when then the whole place has gone into disrepair, it's come through and it's actually caused this set of stairs to collapse just over time. You could spend a bit of time trying to dig your way down, but you think after even just a little bit, it might be days to get through here.
Well, that rather rules that one out, I feel. A bit annoying.
Certainly not impossible, what I would say, and you know, oh, well, I'm going to pause it because...
Sorry.
Okay. No, it's not a problem. Don't worry, stuff went kablooey. Right, so as I was saying, with this corridor, you do think that there's a way of working down through it. Just from what you're looking at and what you're perceiving, and you start to try and dig through stuff, it just seems really heavily blocked. Now, it might be, as I said, you think it could take you a long time. It might be that if you go, actually, no, we're going down this route, then it might not take you days, but it's just that initial perception that you've got of it. It looks really heavily blocked. You're not sure what real condition is. It doesn't look like it definitely looks collapsed.
Yeah, not massively feeling that one then. So maybe a little bit further searchy around here, then resolve some of the situations upstairs. How are folk feeling?
I am feeling.
Oh, hang on a minute. Can I summon anything that might be useful? So yes, I can summon critters that might be able to go and have a look down that corridor, potentially. So if I summoned a raven, Matt, would that be able to pick its way through and go and have a look for us?
Down that corridor, this collapsed one in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be able to get through there, no problems.
In that case, level -1, so that is that rank. That's the first rank of that.
Okay. So the
So
only thing I would ask is,
yeah.
do you get any sort of communication with this animal? Or is it just a raven?
You summon a celestial monitor or fiend whose level is -1 to fight on your behalf. Yeah, okay, so it might not be useful then.
So yeah, unfortunately, it's probably not smart. Now the only thing the only thing that would be a counter to that is if you can summon a specific animal that has language.
Not at first level. Let me look the spell up a second. Because I get more powerful things as it goes up, and I have got it as a more powerful spell.
And also, how long do you get them for?
It's a minute, but they can fly relatively quickly. I can conjure an inhabitant of the outer sphere with or without the deity's permission. So I can also conjure posits, arbiters, dretches, nosoi, which I think is what I've had before.
Mm-hmm. So if you looked at something like a nosoi,
yeah,
I believe they are smart enough to talk. Yes, so they have a variety of different languages. Let's just check if you speak any of the languages. You don't.
fantastic.
Neffy, on the other hand, does. So Neffy could talk to it.
Right.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Okay. So tiny little nosoi. So a nosoi looks like a tiny little bird, but it's wearing a mask.
Takes the appearance of a raven or songbird. It will be a raven with the same mask thing that I sometimes wear.
Yeah. So where it would normally have its normal bill and everything else, for whatever reason, there is a metal plate over its face, with the beak being part of that. It kind of does exactly. It's very, very similar to a raven. It's kind of bouncing around, having a look at you, but it does speak, and it speaks in variety of different languages, and ultimately you guys will settle and be able to speak like the demonic language to each other very easily, the one that you know that you're aware of. It goes through a whole bunch of languages, but you finally settle on that one that you can actually both talk, and you explain to it that you want it to go downstairs and have a look, and it hops its way through and goes in. It does take it a little bit of time. Obviously it knows it's not around forever, so it's gonna pop down and just deal with a few bits and pieces, but it comes up pretty darn quickly, and it tells you that there are people down there, and a stage, and they appear to be playing music. It had to sneak through a door to get there. At least I think it did. Let me just very quickly check that before I give you that information. Yeah, so it had to sneak its way under a door. And it said, yep, there was a stage in one corner. There are some weird little human-looking things down there, and very quickly before it disappears, it manages to say there's a very large person with a spider body and then a humanish torso attached to it.
Oh, I know what that is.
I don't.
Who knows what that is?
I was just say Becky has an idea. Neffy to probably. Well, no, she probably has come across it, but I might be muting my headphones in a sec. Carry on.
And then the noise kind of just disappears.
So the pub climb continues. It's a bit interesting still, I suppose.
It didn't mention there was another way in, did it?
It didn't say specifically, although you can get implication from some of the stuff it said that there might have been more than one doorway down there. Lots of people going in. There's lots of people going in and out. Well, they can't have gone in and out and not come past you if there's only one door.
True. Yep.
How far down did it go?
Not far. The door. Yeah, easily not. Implication again, by implication, not very far at all. In fact, where you can see the corner turn round, there's a good chance that the door's just down there. But a very thick door, because you can't hear anything coming up. Although when they were saying they were playing music, you don't know what that means. That might have been quite quiet.
How long did you say it was going to take to get down there again?
Well, your initial sort of pass, you felt that it was really heavily blocked off, but it doesn't seem like it is now. You know, maybe there's just some really big bits in the way, but once you've got them shifted, it won't be a problem.
Might be worth taking a minute then, folks, and going down there. Try the diplomatic approach like up here. See what's going on.
Oh, in answer to your earlier question, Moz, I can probably handle a little rumble, or a couple of little rumbles, but not a big rumble. Not a jerk's thumb towards arena. Not a big jobs.
Yeah.
I mean, the half spider, half person thing is a bit weird and quite possibly on the edge of what we might be comfortable with. If there's a whole bunch of other things there as well.
Yeah.
Prepare for a fight, but otherwise go in sociable like. See what's going on.
Worked quite well here, didn't it?
This is true.
Although I get the feeling, I mean, from my perspective, none of this lot should be allowed to get out of here. If they know the blue shield is gone, that could be a risk. For the outside, we might need to make it a little bit more physical. But obviously, we want to avoid that as much as possible. I appreciate.
I'm unlikely to be in much better shape to tackle a fight than I am currently.
And how are you feeling, Neffy?
I'm okay. I'm at full whack with everything.
So what's your plan?
I think we're gonna make a relatively quiet motion to tidy things up on the stairwell. See if we can get down there easy enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it does take you a bit of time. The stairwell itself goes down 15 foot, turns, and immediately sort of 10 foot from there you can see this door. But it's got quite a few bits sort of crashed into it. A few hours in the end, just pulling bits of this debris out of this space, you get to the point where you realize actually now you could just access the door. The door is clear enough. You're a little bit concerned that the corridor you're walking into doesn't feel the most stable, but it would be relatively simple to shift the remaining stuff and get to this door. And as such, I would like to know who's going first.
I'm definitely scouting. I get the feeling with I'm gonna do my check my stats, but I get the feeling with with +4 strength, I'm probably doing the bulk of the heavy lifting.
Okay. Who's going to be behind
I'm not
Moz?
first. Maybe me. Yes, me.
Okay. Who's next?
Ferdinand, do you want you or me?
Now, who's on first? What's on second? I don't know who's on
You.
third.
Probably me.
Okay.
Okay, I'll be at the back.
Okay, so and Inver down at the back, which means that I can bring you all
Ooh.
onto a completely new map.
Uh-oh.
Down here, you can hear. You're starting to hear movement on the other side.
Talk to me, Hudson.
At the moment, you can't hear music, but it's more like somebody stage setting, like the roadies setting up getting the space, so you can hear the ding 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 ding, somebody tuning ding 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 ding, some sort of musical instruments, various other bits and pieces going on down there, and you can hear movement and people shifting around. But
Do
outside of
I-
that, go on.
Do I have a suspicion that this is a haunt rather than actuals?
You cannot sense any spirits.
Okay, just from the description of it though, and the actions that would have been relevant a while ago.
Mm-hmm. But no spirits.
Does that seem okay?
No-
Yeah.
no
Well,
spirits.
okay. So okay, had I suggested roll, it would have been haunt law, not the funky spirit detection thing.
Okay.
That was the angle I was trying to take with knowing about haunts
your-
and things
what's
rather
your
than.
bonus in that?
I want to say +6, but let me check. Efficiency at +8 these days.
Haunts tend to need to be activated, and you've seen no reason why a haunt would be going right now in the room next to you, because there's no trigger, as far as
Okay.
you're aware.
And it wasn't the bird flying in.
Don't think
Cool.
so.
Thank you. Okay. That's probably real, guys.
Probably. Not necessarily, but probably.
It
I
doesn't
love.
go.
I was just gonna say I love the level of confidence we're going into this with.
Well, it doesn't feel like it's a haunt or anything, and there's probably no good reason for it to be. So we should probably assume that they're corporeal, if not alive. I don't know. Can't tell that part.
Awesome. In that case, then I don't think we've got any greater purpose standing this side of the door. Is that about right?
Sounds
Everyone good to
about
go?
right.
Sense of humour, perhaps are good. All right then. And Moz will knock on the door for a firm like two knocks on the door, and call through as he attempts to turn the handle and open the door. Housekeeping.
Okay.
Yeah.
Polished
Shit.
wooden tables, chairs, and a long wooden bar mark this chamber as a tavern. The smell of spilled beer and fried morsels pervades the room. In the southeast corner, an elevated stage overlooks the seating. Doors lead out of this room along all four walls, including a double door to the west that looks to be the main entrance. In this room, as things stand, there are a number of Morlocks. These are the things you've met before upstairs.
Oh yeah.
No sign of anything else in the room, barring up on the stage. There is a very strange looking individual.
Is this the spider thing? So I don't want to look at it.
No, it's not the spider thing, don't worry.
Okay.
It's humanoid, but there are definitely some oddities to it. It's
Okay.
got this large multi-stringed musical instrument that it seems to be tuning up and setting themselves up with, and they all kind of look at you and point and go, "Invaders!"
We're just here for the
That's a
show.
hard word. Aye. I mean, we've just spent a long time clearing up down upstairs, and talking to those two upstairs, and they've decided to move on. We just thought we'd come down here, be sociable. We heard there's a bit of music going on. So, what are you tuning up for? I'm guessing it's been a little bit of a minute since you've had some fresh company, some fresh guests.
Are you challengers?
Not at the moment. We're mostly just here to clean up.
So they
Although,
start to speak in
occupations repeated.
undercommon. So does anybody here speak
I think I do.
undercommon?
Ooh,
I
apparently I've got an
imagine that.
allocated. Apparently I've got an unallocated language.
You do.
GM.
You do indeed
Yeah,
have an allocated
same.
language.
Okay.
Yep.
Is
That's
it
for
too
me
cheesy to
speaking
designate it
undercommon, I
now?
think.
It's not
Hang
too
on.
cheesy to designate it now.
Let me check
you're more than-
Wanderers.
What I
Well,
would
apparently. Go on.
what I would say is undercommon no longer exists as an individual language. It's one of the ones that has been changed. It's
Oh,
now
jeez, that's why.
Scaravoth or something like that. So it may well be that the reason why you've got an unallocated language is because it used to be undercommon and it's not ported over to the new version. So
They've changed the rules because I've now got too many languages, according to Foundry.
right.
Oh no, I didn't have undercommon. I used to have. What was
And I
it?
have no idea why.
It's.
Shall we go to the second
So-
site to find out?
I used to have Abyssal, Aklo, Common, Elven, Infernal, and Sylvan, and the ones that's carried across are Aklo, Common, Elven, Fey, which I'm guessing is Sylvan,
Yes.
Diabolic, which should be one of the either Abyssal or Infernal, so the other one hasn't ported across.
So
I'm guessing Wild Song is druidic then.
Wild Song is druidic. Yeah.
What does Wanderers say mine was? Because I went to the wrong login.
Necro. Did I get?
Update the game in the middle of a campaign, they said. It'll be fun, they said.
I remember when they did that in Order of
I
the Stick
did
and
used to have
Volkar's weapons
undercommon.
shrank.
So, yeah. So, are they speaking undercommon or are they speaking the new variant language?
They are effectively they're speaking undercommon, but it will be the equivalent rename brand. So they speak they're talking and they're kind of going. They're looking at each other. They're going, but these are from the surface dwellers. They're invaders, but they come here talking about the band, but they're not challengers. They don't want to do the battle of the band. So why are they here? If they're not here to invade and they're not here to take part in the battle of the bands, why are they here? makes no sense. Don't trust them. Just keep your eyes on them at all times. Make sure that they don't do something dodgy. I'm sure when God, I've got to say this name and I can't remember how to do it. How I decided to pronounce it. Lalizanx. I'm sure when Lalizanx comes from the back, she'll deal with them. It'll be fine. No problems. We just have to wait for her to come back. She's rather, just bear with, okay?
And
They'll know
as,
what
as
to
they're
do.
saying this, as they're saying this amongst themselves, Mosman's going to start taking an appropriate look at any rubbish on the tables, and like do a bit of a general look around at the condition of the place. And as he turns his back to him, he's going to turn and look up the corridor and say in Dwarvish, because there's half a chance they might not speak this, and say, just mumbling to himself, "There's one more out the back. They're hoping will come forward. Apparently, there's a battle of the bands, and they're not quite sure what to do. So there's definitely one more personality down here." And I hope he assumes Phelan will pick it up, and there's no idea whether Neffy or Invar would know a Dwarvish.
Please tell me that Phelan doesn't speak Dwarvish. That'd be hilarious.
Oh no, I speak Dwarvish. I'll indicate. I'll tap Neffy on the shoulder, and basically go indicate that there's one more in a direction, and then I'll repeat that gesture for Invar.
Okay.
He's going to just clear the doorway slightly as part of his looking around and just general assessment. The halberd's just going to be held relatively loosely. Just having a look, having an assess, generally looking around. I suppose he's going to switch technically from scouting to searching?
Seeking.
Seeking.
Okay. So,
you are a helicopter.
Couple of things you notice. The Morlock at the back of the room that's behind the bar has basically been serving drinks. There is a barman. He's absolutely 100% there as a barman. He's cleaning cups. He's handing out drinks. There are drinks available effectively at this bar. This is being run as a proper establishment. Another couple of things that you do note is you can hear noise coming from the back of the stage where there's a door open. And over a little bit of time, this one that's been sort of on the stage has been kind of watching you guys, but kind of going, "Hey, come on, there's weird people out here." And it doesn't take too long, but after a little bit of time, this short individual comes through, which you recognize very dwarf-like characteristics, very much, barring the fact that their skin is pale white. They've got this ridiculous mohawk that's multicolored, just absolutely over the top, but has all the characteristics of being a dwarf. If anybody would like to roll a society check, and I'll let you guys roll this.
Yeah.
Proficiencies. Society plus 10. Let's go metal dice. Don't fail me now. Oh, that's not that bad. 18 total. Biggest one.
Okay. Neffy, I believe you were going to give it a go.
Yeah. Dirty 20.
Okay. You're not 100% certain on this, but you think that you've all heard rumors of elves that live in the dark and in the Underdark sort of area. It's not Underdark, Darklands as it is. This is the equivalent. This is the equivalent for dwarves. So this is a Dalga, but you don't really know much about what a Dalga actually is.
Can I roll Dwarven Law?
Yes, you absolutely can.
Okay. $16.
Yeah, again, you've heard the name, maybe this is one of them, but you're not sure. You're not sure. That takes, once they've come out, there's a sudden sort of, guys, get out here. And 2 more individuals will come out. They are all apparently part of this band that the Morlocks are talking about. And as you see more of them coming out, the crowd start talking about them being called the Shadow Malice. Is the name of the band. And you get a couple of people basically popping around and bouncing around. The next person to come out, who seems to step up to the front, is a little Yusoki.
Ratto!
Sort of moves up to the front, and then just behind them comes this guy.
Okay.
Huh.
Not entirely related to Trogdor.
And you do
He's
have
a
to
fake.
try.
Does he come in the night?
You have to try really, really hard not to say anything, because this guy smells. There is a definite odor coming from this guy that almost makes you want to retch.
Oh, is he one of those?
There you go. Well done for remembering. So yes, you have. There are players. Some of my players that are in another group that recognise this type of creature.
Oh.
Dealing with a lot of them in another game.
I seem to remember getting sprayed.
There's a lot of things that these things can do. And shortly after all of the band, and there's a little bit of commotion, and what I will say is that the actual Morlocks, they're still kind of keeping an eye on you, but when the band comes out, it's like, yeah, it's them, they're back out.
I'm going to get the attention of the. I'm going to get the attention of the barman. Basically, hold up 4 fingers, point at Mug,
Okay.
and you know, stick. Oh no, 8 copper down on the bar.
Yeah, that'll be more than enough for it, and they'll pass around a whole bunch of drinks for you, and yeah. So you get these drinks. They're not great, but it's beer. It's definitely beer.
But the thing is, it's us participating in the tavern as a customer rather than just shuffling around awkwardly.
Yep.
Yep, that's legit. Yep.
The sort of it feels like a bar. It feels exactly like a bar, and all the sort of bits and pieces about it are perfectly, seem perfectly normal. Outside of the fact that it's deep within the Abomination Vaults, and these are Morlocks, and various.
It's not their fault.
creatures.
They're Morlocks.
No. That's fair. That's fair. I can go with that. It's after about maybe 5-10 minutes of you kind of pottering around in here that the proprietor of the bar squeezes their way out of the back door that just opened, as an exceptionally large creature appears at the back of the room. Now, it is fair that if you want to not look at this thing, now is the time to not look at it, because it looks like that.
Yep. That's exactly. It isn't a Drider.
It is a. Yeah, it is. It's a Drider.
Yeah.
I don't know if the name of these things has changed. In fact, Driders may have been completely removed, but this is one of the last relics of these creatures in system. She comes out of the back of the thing and sort of in Undercommon is like just chatting to people. You guys have calmed the room down. They're not friendly to you, but they've become kind of neutral to your presence. But she sort of comes out through the back door, looks over at the stage, and goes, and in Undercommon goes, "Why are you guys out already?" and then looks at you and goes, "Oh,
Bit of a wave, bit of a smile.
who are you? Why are you here?"
As we were telling folks when we came in, because they were a little bit worried. You know, let's face it, it's been a minute. You know, there hasn't been a huge amount of communication going on upstairs to downstairs. We've just done a bit of a clean out, tidying the place up, picking up some unconsidered trifles, making our way around the place, really.
Gave the in Dwarven, gave those stairs a bit of a clean.
Yeah, the stairs proper clean too now, so there's a bit of a way through up there.
To be honest with you, I was quite happy with that being blocked off so that those weird individuals upstairs couldn't keep on disturbing the rest of my patrons. But they don't seem to be making any noise right now. I'm guessing that might be something to do with you.
Oh, you mean the two who were having a centuries-long argument?
The two upper crust annoying nobles that kept on making constant noise.
Ah, yes. No, they have found their way home.
Interesting. I'm curious then. You appear to have said that you're coming to have almost like a look around, but you're clearly not from the Abomination Vaults. What exactly are you doing here?
Well, there's been a little bit of trouble. Yeah, as much as anything else, to be fair. That's the best way of summing it up. There's been some weird things happening further up on the levels. There's some in the nicest way possible, very harmful things rolling around the place that we've been trying to not have rolling around the place. And seeing how that's going to be affecting the lie of the land a bit.
Okay. I'm going to make this quite clear. You're in my bar. I won't take any noise or ruckus in here. Nor do I really want to be disturbed. So, have your fill, have your drinks. If you really want to get involved, the band are always looking for new challengers. And you'll interest people. This lot like spending whatever gold they find lying around on little bets here and there, and you may well see a little bit of pennies going backwards and forwards, but cause a problem, and I'll make sure you never come back.
Well, that seems quite reasonable, all in. Odd question. I appreciate we can go back out the way we came back in, and we can put a note on the door saying, "Do not disturb," if you'd like. But are there any other ways out of here? Because obviously there's the big Colosseum fighting pit thing just to outside. So there's just a curiosity point.
If you really want to, you can leave by the main doors at the side. I'm not going to stop you. The simple thing is, this is my territory. And myself and my kin would very much prefer to keep it that way. If needs be, you can go that way. If you really want to, but I don't recommend it, you can head south through that door down there. Any of these other doors, on the other hand, the ones that lead to my chambers or to where the band is, or out into our storerooms, I would very much prefer if you didn't come that way. My space. Well, not just mine, to be fair. Mine and Vischari's space.
Society name check Vischari?
You absolutely can do a check on that, yes.
Yeah. Can we all do that?
Yeah.
That's a 15 and 10 for 25.
Not the name of a creature or anything you would recognise.
17 and 11, so
28.
28.
Sounds more like a personal name than a creature name. This Chari sounds like an individual to you.
And just for player mapping, the room to the very south is the hazardous. If you really want to, their chambers, I assume, is the room they've just come out of, the door they've just come through.
Yes.
Bar room through the top is also a no-go.
That would be fine.
Which is the indicated safe?
The one
room?
next to me.
Door?
The double
one...
doors, if
Okay.
you really.
Double
that
doors.
leads into the remainder of this level, if that's the way you want to go.
We do have
I
a certain amount of curiosity.
I would point out most of the patrons that you see here are the ones that have not caused me any problems and therefore are allowed to stay. There are people, things out there that aren't welcome because they have caused problems.
I mean, I'd be remiss, if I didn't ask. One, I do terribly apologise. Most people call me Moz. I didn't catch your name. I heard that they were waiting for someone to come from the back. I'm assuming that's yourself.
Lalizanax.
Can I take your name?
Lalizanax. Sorry. L-A...
Lalizanax?
Honestly, here you go. Lalizanx.
Sounds Welsh.
Xanax. Yep.
Xanax will do.
I will
Is
not.
that the effect?
Try to bar owner. There we go. Put that in there as notes. Save. So I'll be terribly remiss, and thank you for your name on that one. If I didn't say, the more rowdy individuals who aren't welcome, I take it, is there a bit of a social issue there? Would you want them moved away? Or is it just a case of live and let live, just not here kind of thing with yourself and them? I mean, extra coin is extra coin at the end of the day.
They're just not welcome.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I can appreciate that. I've been to a fair few taverns in my time. That's understandable.
Let's put it this way. We've carved out a little space for ourselves around here. But we aren't the only people, the only things, the only ones around here. You're lucky you're not causing me a problem. If you were, you wouldn't be welcome. But I don't want people bringing stuff to my door. So just be aware of that.
Understandable. Absolutely. And without, Mozzle's stopping all front presenting and do the half nod thing, just smile and raise a glass in appreciation. Well, that's fair enough. Thank you very much for that. We do appreciate, your patience and sense of humour.
So she you can tell she's getting a bit bored of the conversation, and she will just sort of turn, and she just pushes herself through the corridor, disappears into the back, closing the door behind her.
And yeah, basically Moz will just stay and start looking around the group and try to figure out what everyone's perspective is on, where do folks want to go from here?
I kind of want to see what the hell the band thing is. Mainly because I want to see our wonderful GM roleplay playing different band parts.
So it takes a little while for everything to cool down in here, okay? That's the first thing that I will say about this. I will give you a rough sort of idea of what happens, though. Don't get me wrong. There's definitely something. So.
Oh dear.
A little bit of time comes along, and the band sort of there's a little bit of noise, a little bit of extra ruckus as the band are starting to sort themselves out. You do note a couple of things while you're stood in here. Firstly, the Morlocks bet with each other quite regularly. There are some people playing cards, there's various little games going on, and all the rest of it. You're pretty certain that if there is a battle of the bands, it's probably heavily bet on who's going to win and various other things like this. There's a whole host of stuff. Over a little bit of time, the guys on the stage start actually sorting themselves out. Firstly, the dwarven female has got these pairs of like drums that are strapped around her waist, and she'll start banging on them a little bit and start getting herself prepped up. The humanoid creature with the rags on them starts playing the lute, this long lute, and interestingly enough, the almost lizard-looking creature brings out another kind of like a guitar instrument and starts playing that, and it ends up that the actual singer is the Yosoki, who lights a torch with a little bit of magic, and it kind of starts sparkling and various of the colours start coming out, and then they start to sing. And it really isn't the music that you'd expect it to be. There's quite a heavy bass line. There is almost an electrical sense to the sounds. Please note, this is the music that they have added to the thing for this band playing. I am not making this up. They are an electric rock band, and the singer is a full-on Yosoki screamer.
Incredible.
This goes on for a while, and the Murlocs go absolutely potty for this music. There is dancing, there is mosh pits, there's the whole 9 yards. Everybody is exceptionally careful not to knock into anything. They're not going to damage this in any way, shape, or form. They do not want to have to face the Dryder at all. It's her bar. They're very respectful, but there is almost a proper full-blown fanboy girl kind of attitude to the way that they listen to this music, and yeah, it sort of just disappears in time. They play a short set. They sit on the stage for a little while. The Yosoki is kind of watching you guys a little bit as you've been paying attention to them. Are you sure you're not here for challenge?
About best I can do is maybe juggle. That's as far as my performance skills go.
That's not bad. We do everything.
Occasionally juggle.
Let's if we get into here details, okay? Nice and simple. We each face off one-on-one. Do anything you want. Sing, acrobatics, display of strength, anything at all, whatever. Then we perform as groups. Mine versus yours. Let the crowd decide who's the best overall.
I will mention this to my friends. I have no idea what they'll go for it. I don't. In fact, I don't even know if they sing. I don't think they coordinate anything.
You've heard me sing. I know +2 performance.
I am not getting involved.
I mean, Neffy's just been moshing with everyone else, so.
Well, look, we're here, we stay here, we band that stay in place. Anytime you want, you come, you challenge, we play. It's good fun.
Thank you very much for the invitation. We'll bear it in mind.
Now,
that's a what?
We're gonna go back in back, chill out for a while. Another set in a little while. So, but we on every 2 hours. So you come see.
Every 2 hours for the last however many 100 years, or however long they've survived. That's an interesting question to ask.
Yeah, I'm confused as to
disappear.
how they're down.
Doors at the back of the stage are shut.
So, are we staying here? Are we going back up? Are we having a look through the levels here, knowing that there is somewhat of a society kicking around down here that may or may not be very happy about knowing there's an upstairs?
Good question.
How
We
are they
know
all
we're no-
here and still here and surviving and getting alcohol for their bar?
You can brew pretty much anything. I mean, don't get me wrong. Coming from cellar stock, you can brew pretty much anything eventually. You just need a little bit of yeast and a little bit of sugar.
So where are they getting the yeast and sugar from?
I don't know. If someone scratches them bad over a bucket, you could get some use from there. And as for sweet stuffs, I don't know.
Why are you like this, Moz? Brother, no!
So there's a couple.
Don't go
of
wiki
things.
that. It exists. Don't go wiki it.
There are a couple of things from this, relatively simple for sort of going through. The first thing to be relatively aware of is that you can brew from more or less anything, and somewhere down here, something like this, it would probably be molds. They're probably using molds, and they're possibly even using molds that are not actually that safe. And Phelan, you get a definite sense when you're drinking this that this is made of the hard stuff. They've probably got a mold or something growing in here, which is really, really not good for you. But they've brewed it down and they've made it to a point where it's not going to make you sick, any more than normal alcohol would. So somewhere around here they've got a brewery or a kitchen that's churning out this sort of stuff.
Right, so we don't mess with these people.
So where the heck
That
did
sounds
they
like a plan.
get regular
That
customers
sounds like a
from?
good reason.
Oh, I'm so confused.
Because having a beer break, and they must have a reasonable kitchen in here somewhere. Because just smell.
Can I smell pie?
It's fried things.
Oh,
Demolition Man, have you seen a cow? Have you seen a cow down here? No.
You do not want to
That's
think
easy,
about
easy
what the
meat.
meat might be.
Have you seen a cow down here?
no, because they've killed them all and put them in their pies.
That's not how this works.
Oh, oh damn.
Think about what we've seen that was a walking meat suit on a skeleton. Consider those the natural inhabitants.
Or alternatively, mycoproteins.
Hope starch.
There's definitely the chance of, something a little bit pie adjacent. There might be pastry type things around, but again,
Right, let's.
where they're getting the yeast for the pastry and the bread
I mean, there is
sort of mixes.
yeast
and,
in the air, usually.
yeah.
I'm
yeah.
already
Well-
feeling
Sourdough
the
just
How
from-
much worse can it get?
I'm
I'd
not
be
going
much
to
more
relate the
interested in
social
how they're getting
media
the-
story while we're recording.
I'd be much more interested in where they're getting the grain from. The yeast will be in the air, that's not too bad, but the grain.
Don't need grain.
Well, yeah. Again, you don't need
Pastry.
grain for it. It's any starchy
Not to brew
material.
alcohol.
You can make bread from any starchy material. So again, molds can
Yeah.
do that. If you're very clever, you can get starches out of but potatoes are dead easy to grow anywhere.
They require light.
Depends on the things.
Magic.
Also,
Magic is
fantasy
certainly an
world.
option. But in either
We'll
case,
probably find the magic hydroponics garden somewhere.
Oh god.
Yeah,
Let's take Neffy away from the possible food and pick a door.
I eat
Because
myself.
we are currently not exactly welcome, but definitely not unwelcome, but they don't want our money, and we're not stealing because that would make us unwelcome.
Oh.
Let's do
Why
the
are you so
social
mean to
society
me?
thing.
Hey, they were quite happy to take my money for the beers.
You do realise now, by the way, that you've probably paid them for what you would account for you know, it's the price of a good beer. These are not good beers, but they've charged you as if they're good beers. So you have technically ripped off
Tourist
quite a lot.
prices.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
worth it for the
Paying the
extra
outsider's rate.
sort of attitude adjustment.
Yes, the attitude adjustment. You paid for the attitude adjustment. One thing that you are you are noticing a lot now, actually, as you get closer. The Morlocks are not... How do I put this? They're not friendly, but they're definitely avoiding you, and they're definitely noticing how heavily armed you are. So that you've got a certain level of intimidation built in just because you're also the most heavily armed thing they've seen for a very long time.
I mean, fair
I
response.
haven't even glared at them yet.
Walking around in full plate with a big stick. Yeah, that does have that effect on people. Wasn't to start walking down the believed reasonably safe. Just currently holding is probably about half full tankard, maybe on a second jar. And just taking a wander down, seeing if there's anything interesting, how heavily travelled this area is.
I mean, the first thing you notice is that it's not actually that heavily travelled. So you're kind of starting to get the feeling that maybe the Morlocks and everything don't really ever leave that tavern. There's kind of a general sign that actually there's not a lot of footfall around here. The area is relatively kept safe. How it's kept safe, you're not sure, but it's relatively kept safe. The other thing you do notice is that there is a very makeshift sign sticking out of one of the walls, and as you turn around and look at it, it does say the Warped Brew Tavern written on the sign. This thing is set up to be a tavern down here in every regard.
Why do they want money then if they never leave? I'm so confused.
Because how else do you trade out things? I suppose it's just a way of keeping everyone sociable. It's probably enforced by that little Xanax. Being some kind
Enforced
of...
by the Xanax. We are not
Yes.
sponsored by Xanax.
No. What is Xanax anyway? I forget what Xanax is.
Antidepressant.
Oh, of course
Yeah.
it is. Yes. Yep,
It's one of the
makes sense.
American brands. Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
And any markings on the door?
oh, in fact, no, it's a tranquilizer. It's not. It's
Oh,
used in the
yeah.
question, but it's a tranquilizer. It's a benzodiazepine.
That's it. Yeah.
See, educational, funny, rude. Real brilliant stream to watch. Brilliant YouTube video to watch. Educational.
Hashtag not professionals. Continue.
Yeah.
So, any markings on the doors or otherwise? Again, just doing that general wariness, not quite survival, not quite nature, just checking it out.
Just keeping an eye out. You don't hear anything. There's no signs of traps as you wander down the corridor. The doors here, two sets of large double doors. After a very cursory check, you realise that the ones to the north are locked, but the ones to the west are not.
Also, we'll just take a bimble back just to catch Phelan's eye. Just make a general. Go take a womble. Should we take a bit of a walk down, see what's going on around here?
Is the
It's a very nice place, but you know, curiosity and all that.
And shut the doors.
Close
Yes.
off the doors. Just so we've got some privacy for talking at a more normal volume-ish. Assuming they're not suddenly stacked 3 tall, a la kobolds in a trench coat, listening to what we're saying.
Nothing spirity.
Might be.
No
Or
sense of
magical.
anything spiritual. Or
Yes!
anything
Yes!
magical.
Many.
It is 3 kobolds in a trench coat.
Yay!
E.
Okay. So you said which ones were locked?
The ones
These
that you're
ones.
at now, the northern ones.
Okay, so I'm gonna check for traps first before I even try touching them.
No sense of anything trapped on them. They're just locked.
Okay. And should I try and unlock them?
You absolutely can try and unlock them. Please make yourself a thievery check.
28.
28. Okay. So you slowly but surely start working, and you realise that one, that was a critical success, which is always nice as a general starting point. But it will
Hey!
still take more effort than that to open these locks.
Okay.
They're not complicated, but they are complex.
17.
Okay, so that does
And a nat
click
20.
it one more, and then yeah, fine, no problems whatsoever. So you manage to unlock those doors.
Okay. Shall I open the door, team?
Might as well give a nod. Gently putting his half cup to the side.
Okay. You open this up to an exceptionally long corridor. You're talking, it's a good sort of, 40, 50 foot long. You can see that there's another double door set about halfway up on the western side, and then the whole chamber opens up at the far end, but you can't see into what it's specifically opened into.
Do we want to check the doors on the west before we go up this way? So we're in
Yeah,
those?
because this one was locked. Let's assume it was locked for a reason first.
Yeah.
Right.
Should
Should we close it for now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Listening at
Switch
the
into
other
scan.
door, you do not hear anything.
It's a big double door, is it?
It is indeed a big double door.
Might as well give a nod to Invar as the other person's standing there. And a bit of a 3, 2, 1.
Okay. Anchored shackles and fetters line the north and west walls, and bloodstains obscure the stone floor. At the east and south, there are the double sets of doors to the ones you're at, and another set to the south. And there are 2 staircases beside each of them, which lead further down. However,
Winky.
it is not the only thing you see in this room, because stood amongst the shackles is an exceptionally large and grotesque looking creature.
Oh, goody.
It is
Yay!
almost, if you were going to have to describe it, a bloated head the size of a human torso, with a jaw
Lovely.
and mouth within the chest area of the creature rather than where it should be on the head. From the side of its head, 2 arms come out, but its lower body is just a tangled mess of tentacles. It looks
Hang?
Ew.
like this.
Ew.
Not correct.
That has altogether too many teeth.
And we'll stop there.
You've had to have asked yourself how many teeth is too many. That. Yeah.
That is too many.
That is a Farendale jaw. That is too many.
Mhm.
We're going to take a break, guys. We're going to go and get a drink because that's been quite a long episode, and we'll be back a little bit later to do a little bit more, I hope. So, for now, bye-bye, and we'll see you next time.